Okay. Back forward.
Is your mic on?
Ready? Okay, good morning. We'll go ahead and call our meeting back to order. Apologize for the technology glitch there. And I'm going to turn it back over to Andrew and Neil. And we'll, I guess, start the airport dialogue over again.
Okay, thank you. Andrew Eshelman, Director of Public Works.
Neil Doran, Airport Director.
A little bit of background, the airport is an enterprise fund, and this year we are not proposing any general fund financial support. A little bit of history. The airport received about $2.1 million in various COVID-related response funds from the federal government over the last several years, and these funds are being used to cover the airport's operating expenses. So the revenue that would have been used to cover those expenses has been building in the airport reserve account. And so while today we're here to talk about the operating budget, there is a link between the operating and the capital budget. We're here before you several weeks in a row, it seems like, to talk about various capital projects, and so those capital projects do require matching funds that are local dollars. And so you'll see in the budget there's several projects, and what's shown in the operating budget in the summary page is $826,750 in fund balance reserves coming in as revenue, and then $951,000 as an appropriation, which are funds transferred to the various capital projects. So that's a little bit about what's happening there, and one of the major driving factors for the increase that you'll see in percentage from last year to this year is really due to the capital budgets.
And speaking about the operational budget, it is very similar to last year. That is, if you remove the appropriations amount, you'll see that it's within $33,000 of last year, a little bit less, in fact. We get our revenues from a number of fees, grants, transfers, residential and agricultural leases, fuel farm flowage fees. We do propose a modest increase in the T-hanger rate at 3%, which is in line with what we did last year. We also anticipate small gains in concession fees in our terminal from the rental car agency there and snack sales. And we do propose an increase in landing fee rates and some of our parking rates for some of our paved surfaces. We're looking forward in fiscal year 25 to see some of the consolidated finance bond debt that the airport had to be paid off in 24. And so that would free up about $120,000 when compared with previous years. Some of our expenses have gone up due to salary and benefits. And we do also want to point out that we're looking closely at our staffing needs and our organization, and we're looking at our expenses related to aircraft rescue, firefighting, and we may need to come back and present to you again some months down the line as we consider our needs to adapt to changing circumstances and requirements. But I would ask you if you had any questions on our budget proposal.
Questions, comments? Okay, hearing none. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item is maintenance and operations agreement for the Washington County Senior Center.
Morning again, Andrew Eshelman, Director of Public Works.
Todd Moser, Real Property Administrator, Division of Engineering.
We're here before you seeking a motion to approve the maintenance and operations agreement for the Washington County Senior Center. A little bit about why we're here. County built the senior center and had an operations and maintenance agreement with the Commission on Aging. That agreement, for some reason, was just set for a 5-year term period with no automatic renewal. So the reason we're here today is because we need to technically have a new lease for the new period, as well as we merged together an amendment that was added related to the FIT lot that was constructed around 2019. So we're not necessarily proposing anything new or substantially different, but it is a lease, and the new one does have the clause for a renewal of terms for a year-to-year basis.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing, except for the fill-out, motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Vote. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Next item, sex offender compliance and enforcement, Maryland grant approval to submit application and accept awarded funding.
Good morning, Rachel Souter, Senior Grant Manager, Office of Grant Management.
Cody Miller, Grant Manager to the Washington County Sheriff's Office.
We're here to seek approval to submit a grant application for the FY24 Sex Offender Compliance and Enforcement Maryland Grant to the Governor's Office of Crime Prevention, Youth and Victim Services in the amount of $29,383 and accept funding as awarded. Just a real quick note, we found out this morning that our county's allocation was actually just slightly higher than what is on the paper that you guys received. So again, that dollar amount is $29,383. The Sheriff's Office plans to use the funding provided to fund the salaries of 2 part-time civilian employees who assist the sex offender registrar with the registration and re-registration of sex offenders while also conducting compliance checks of employment and home addresses. The Office of Grant Management has reviewed the grant funding guidelines. Matching funds or in-kind support is not required for this program, and the grant is annually recurring. There are no unusual conditions or requirements attached to it.
Comments?
No, just fiscal impact, there's nothing on there, but if there's no fiscal impact, you know, I would, motion to approve.
Second.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say the only fiscal impact is that the award reduces the costs associated with the program by the $29,383. And if the funding was lost, the Sheriff's Office would work on a budget proposal to either hire an additional full-time employee or to try to maintain 2 part-time positions. And the deputies could possibly be used to verify address checks while the registrar continued.
Could I just ask a question about, this isn't about particularly this grant, but your 2 part-time employees to support a requirement, the requirement is linked to how many sex offenders do we have that we're monitoring in the county?
Right now, there's 265.
265, and what's the size of the office that monitors that?
It's just 1 full-time employee and then 2 part-time.
And then 2 part-time, and then are there other grants that are helping fund this?
No.
No, okay. And are you adequately staffed to handle those 206? Are you actually doing what's required to monitor them in a, I would hope, an aggressive way?
We're successfully monitoring them.
Well, what's your measures for that? Could you get back to me on what that would be later?
Yes.
Maybe I don't want an answer right now, but I'd like to understand what we're actually doing in that arena. Thank you so much.
Okay.
First and a
You have a
second.
first and a second?
Yes. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Rachel Souter, Senior Grant Manager, Office of Grant Management.
Cody Miller, Washington County Sheriff's Office.
The Washington County Sheriff's Office is requesting $28,600 in funding from the FY24 Police Accountability, Community, and Transparency Grant Program for the purchase of IA Pro and Blue Team software that will allow for real-time personnel management of police action reports from frontline supervision through to the command level. The software will transition the Sheriff's Office to an electronic format for agency members to file law enforcement action reports, including use of force, firearm discharge, pursuit, and departmental accident reports, internal, external, complaints against personnel, and act as an early warning system designed to identify officers whose behavior is problematic and provide a form of intervention to correct that performance. Office of Grant Management has reviewed the grant funding guidelines. There's no cash match required. The fiscal impact for this one, the funding is being requested to cover the first 2 years of the program, after which an annual maintenance cost of $5,000 will be required, and the Sheriff's Office will include that maintenance cost in its yearly budget proposals.
I support it, unless there's any questions. I move to support it.
That motion?
Mo-
Yeah, I'll second.
Motion to second support. All in favor by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Next item is the Day Reporting Center grant application.
Rachel Souter, Senior Grant Manager, Office Grant Management.
Megan Willis, Director at the Day Reporting Center.
The Day Reporting Center is seeking approval to submit a grant application to the Opioid Operational Command Center requesting $99,677 in funding and to accept the funding if awarded. The main function of the Day Reporting Center program is to provide community supervision, intensive treatment for substance use disorders, and intensive case management to offenders in order to reduce recidivism, jail population, and corrections-related costs. Funding under this project will be used for training Day Reporting Center staff, travel costs, webcams to use for virtual trainings, Vivitrol for inmates preparing to be transferred to the Day Reporting Center, food for a graduation celebration from the program, repairing and replacing the flooring in the building, and items to help participants be more successful in the program and upon release or transfer. The Office of Grant Management has reviewed the grant application. It has a one-year performance period to begin July 1st and end June 30th, 2024.
Comments, questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second for approval. All in favor by saying aye.
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 Those same sign. Thank you.
Thank you.
Linda here? I didn't see
I
Linda.
don't see Linda, so we can go forward, I think. I mean, Allison's here, but I don't think Linda's here, though.
We wanna,
Is Linda coming, or? I don't know. I don't know if you want to go ahead.
you wanna,
Mark, I assume you're here for Davina. That you're here for the next. You could go on to the next one.
yeah, okay. Well, let's jump over the American Rescue Plan at this point. Next item is bid award, PR 1596, laboratory services for water, wastewater testing, and for the Department of Water Quality. Mark, good morning.
Mark Bradshaw, Director of Environmental Management.
Randy Nagelbauer in the Purchasing Department. The first recommendation I have for you this morning is the bid award PUR 1596, Laboratory Services for Water and Wastewater Testing. Move to award the bid for the laboratory services for the Department of Water Quality to the responsible bidder, ALS Environmental out of Middletown, PA, who submitted the lowest total sum price, $82,142. The scope of services to be provided by the contractor includes the pickup, the preservation, and transportation of the samples from the Department of Water Quality twice a week. All analyses are to be completed and reported within 14 days from the day of pickup. The contract is for a period of 1 year with the option for the county to renew up to 2 consecutive one-year periods. This is a requirements contract only. It's to be used on an as-need basis. There is no minimum or maximum guarantee of testing associated to this. The bid was advertised on the State of Maryland's eMaryland Marketplace Advantage website, the county's website, and the local newspaper. 26 companies registered and downloaded the document. 2 bids were received as indicated on the bid tab. Funding is available in the department's operating budget for these services.
Discussion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's back up in American Rescue Plan.
Randy had a second one.
American Rescue Plan Act, Business and Entrepreneurial Funding. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you. Sorry, I ran out of here, so I'm out of breath. I'm Linda Spence, Business Specialist and Financial Program Administrator for the Department of Business Development, and Allison Hartshorn. I am the ARPA Grant Manager for the Office of Grant Management.
We come before you today seeking approval to enter into a partnership and subrecipient agreement with Hagerstown Community College to implement workforce and entrepreneurial support activities and services funded through the county's American Rescue Plan Act allocation to the Department of Business Development in the amount of $175,000. Funds will be used to provide technical support, counseling, and other services to assist with business planning needs to support job training.
As a subrecipient, HCC would host 2 major career expos, provide workforce training scholarship aid to individuals needing to acquire or upgrade skills as part of their employment with Washington County-based organizations, provide entrepreneurial training, business development resources, and mentorship development opportunities. These funds will be fully expended by August 1st of 2024. And attached, I have put the Hagerstown Community College's proposal and budget in your packet. This truly is a partnership, and we would like your support and approval with.
Discussion, questions?
I think it looks good. I recommend approval.
Is that a motion? We have a motion on the
I
floor.
motion to approve. I do have a separate question, though.
I'll second for discussion.
The separate question is, I wasn't here, but the $29.4 million in the American Rescue Plan, is there anything left in that?
Yes, well, yes and no. Right now, everything has been allocated. We have some money that is still unallocated, but we're keeping that right now. It's, right now, we're looking at about $648,000 that in case a project would go over, that we have that there. But everything was pretty much allocated on that in last year, yeah.
Okay. Do you have a primer on that I could maybe look at later?
Of course.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Next item is intergovernmental cooperative purchase, NTG 23-0116 for playground equipment.
Randy Nagelmeyer in the Purchasing Department.
Andrew Ashelman, Director of Public Works.
The next recommendation I have for you is the intergovernmental cooperative purchase, INTG 23-0116 for playground equipment. Move to authorize by resolution for the Parks and Rec Department to purchase and have installed playground equipment at the Washington County Regional Park from Compton Incorporated out of Austin, Texas, in the total sum of $147,551. This is based on the Omnia Partners contract, which was awarded by the City of Charlotte, North Carolina. The Code of Public Laws of Washington County provides that the Board of County Commissioners may procure goods and services through a contract entered into by another government entity as long as we abide by the same terms and conditions of the contract. The county will benefit with a direct cost savings due to the economies of scale the contract has leveraged. There is funding available in the capital improvement project for this department.
Comments, questions, concerns?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is reimbursing Maryland Department of Transportation, Maryland Transit Administration for the purchase of 2 transit buses, NTG 23-0117. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning. Rick Curry, Director of Purchasing.
Kevin Cerrone, Washington County Transit.
So before you, reimbursing Maryland Department of Transportation, Maryland Transit Administration for the purchase of 2 transit buses. Recommended motion to authorize reimbursing Maryland Department of Transportation, Maryland Transit Administration in the amount of $118,565 for the county's match portion for 2 2022 Eldorado National Easy Rider 2 buses that MDOT MTA procured on behalf of Washington County Transit Department. MDOT MTA procured the buses through its procurement process. The normal process normally would have been that the county procured the buses utilizing an awarded contract that MDOT MTA awarded and then applying the formula of 80%, 10%, and 10% match on the local. There's a misprint on that. It shows that it's 80% federal, 10% state, and 20% local match. That should be 80% federal, 10% state, and 10% local. This year, MDOT and MTA took a different approach as to where MDOT MTA purchased the buses from the manufacturer. However, the funding formula was changed to 80% federal, 0% state, and 20% local match. The county needs to reimburse MDOT MTA for the county's 20% local match. And you can see the MDOT invoices that are attached to the ARPA, and we have concurrences from the division director. Any questions?
So was this something that was, if you can help me understand the timeline a little bit, is this something that we found out after the fact?
It's actually 3 years, believe it or not.
3 years after the fact.
Apply for the funding, you get the funding the following year, ordered the vehicles, it took 2 years to take delivery of the vehicles. So of course, all this was going over the past 3 years, and it's when the monies were fluctuating. So that's what happened now. Now today, and I come back in next week with my budget for you all, MTA is back to their 10%. So for fiscal year '24, it's back to 80-10-10.
Will we have to worry about 2 years ago and then 1 year ago?
No, we'll be caught up at that point,
Okay.
and everything should be going forward there. And then the monies for this are in our budget. This is just more or less a formality that it went from the 10 to the 20 back to the 10. And we missed it. It was kind of a jumble, but this does clean it up now and brings everything up to date.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Looking for a motion?
Motion to approve.
I second.
Okay. All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Do we want to take care of anything else?
Recess.
No, I just, obviously I want to thank staff for getting us back online and getting us going again.
Absolutely.
It happens in the middle, but I do want to thank our PR staff and our IT staff